Wait, let me
It's not, yeah, but it's not
I'm
about
making it cool to be a
business.
businessman.
It's not about business.
It's not about business for you because you feel like it might give you better ratings to portray something negative within the image of hip hop.
It is negative.
It's not negative to be a businessman. It's not negative to take care of the economy around you.
It's negative to make money, Mr. Dash, if you hurt children.
How do you hurt children by promoting to be an entrepreneur and a CEO and to do right by?
Looking at a principle.
For example.
Hold it. You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad. Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well, you're looking I got dirt on you, dog.
1/3 of Dipset, this man Cameron. Another, Jim Jones, who was seen here dapping up and hugging disgraced New York City Mayor Eric Adams. And lastly, Juelz Santana. Rumble, young man, rumble. So why are we discussing these men exactly?
The World Cup's coming to New York next year, and as a lifelong soccer fan, I couldn't be more excited. But are any working class New Yorkers actually going to be able to watch the matches? Pre-sale starts tomorrow, and for the first time, FIFA is using dynamic pricing, where they're going to figure out in real time how much they can get away with for charging a ticket. The tickets can be resold on an official FIFA platform with no price cap. That means you could buy a ticket for $60 and sell it for $6,000. And unlike the last 3 World Cups, there's nothing set aside for residents.
Because Zohran is apparently a fan. Thus, Jerry Dunleavy, a writer for Just the News and a former reporter with the Washington Examiner, wrote an opinion piece, all right, about Zohran. And it would read, this is the title, I kid you not parody. Mamdani for years used July 4th to promote self-styled Taliban rapper who worshiped 9/11 hijacker. Okay, this is incredibly dense and very deceptive. Okay, it's a trend that goes on every single year. I can't believe I have to explain this. It's a trend that goes on every single year where many New Yorkers and fans of hip-hop music will post a photo like this that Zohran has. It's almost a joke at this point because Juelz Santana is draped in the American flag. Out of anything, they should be praising this as they have praised Tommy Lauren, as they have praised people who have an American flag with Trump on it. Like, it's violation of the flag code, yet they have that in common. But still, Hot New Hip Hop put it all in context. The criticism stems from the Diplomats' 2003 album, Diplomatic Immunity. Across the album, they make reference to the Twin Towers on several occasions. They also previously referred to themselves as the Dipset Taliban, Harlem's own Taliban, and Harlem's Al-Qaeda. Complex would add, while 9/11 unified many Americans for better or worse, and this is true, it created blind acceptance toward the controversial Patriot Act and, more alarmingly, produced a rise in Islamophobia. Dipset unabashedly embraced being an enemy of sorts. So look, as we're rolling through these lyrics, there's a slew of double entendres at play, a ton of powerful wordplay as well, and resilience with a touch of braggadocious-infused rhymes. Like saying I'm a Taliban lyrical monster is quite clearly not showing support for them, and to argue that is in bad faith. At one point, around the 45-second mark of the compilation, when Juelz is rapping, you know, to me, it's similarly to something that we covered on this channel, which is Gil Scott-Heron's Whitey on the Moon. Like, all of that happened, but we still have problems back here. If you know, you know. One listener would tweet, y'all weren't there. 9/11 is the greatest single tragedy in contemporary American history, and we've all seen it live on TV. Dipset came out around that time. Who didn't mention 9/11 back then in hip-hop? That is true. I mean, it was a constant. I know Chappelle's show, like, joked about it, but TRL, Total Request Live, again, if you know, you know, and you're aging yourself at this point if you're mentioning it, they brought on Ja Rule to talk about what happened on 9/11, like they did. So I just find a lot of this to be arguing in bad faith. I truly do. Some of their lyrics are pretty bad, all right? But it's also just Dipset, man. Like, you had to be there. You had to live through the times. You had to understand how, to a degree, they represented New York along with Jay-Z, along with Fat Joe, along with Jadakiss and Lox. I mean, like, Welcome to New York City might have a run for a post 9/11 best track coming out of the city. So there's just so much more than I looked up these lyrics and I don't agree. Simone wrote, as a Lebanese Australian woman who moved to New York City 5 years after 9/11, those Dipset bars were a strange salve to the almost suffocating anti-Arab narrative. I actually I've spoken with Howard Bryant. Would love to interview him, obviously. And he actually wrote about how this affected sports and the sports fan and society at large of anyone who wasn't white in a post 9/11 New York City. And I highly recommend you go pick up Howard Bryant's The Heritage. It is eye-opening, at least to me. GQ's Fraser Tharp printed in his piece, Dipset is being touted in the news today as a Taliban-obsessed rap group thanks to desperate right-wing grifters attempting to use mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani's great taste in rap as evidence of him being anti-American. That's a great line. On 3 separate occasions, most recently in 2024, Mamdani wished his Twitter followers a happy 4th and posted the classic indelible photo of Cameron and Juelz Santana, in which Santana sports a full Stars and Stripes fit, since Harlem's favorite rap crew did have a bad habit of referencing the Taliban, 9/11, Muhammad Atta in uncouth ways. Mamdani's support for the diplomats has been held up as evidence that he supports terrorism. It's insane that we have to say this. He does not. It is also insane that, honestly, all we hear about right now is how we need to tone down the rhetoric and political rhetoric. Whoa. Where are the guardrails on rhetoric when you're going after a brown man who is running to be a candidate for a very high position in local governments, and you are associating him with terrorism? Like, we're so immune to the bigotry. We are so immune to it. It's insane. Tharp's next paragraph would read, reactions and responses to this have ranged from incredulous to hilariously tongue-in-cheek. It goes without saying that the flap is a grossly wild and intentional attempt to recontextualize and conflate with ill intent. But it led me back to Welcome to New York City, which I just talked about. Of course, features crazy bars traded between Cam and Jay-Z, but is anchored by a rousing anthemic hook from Santana, the home in 9/11, place of the lost towers, we still bang and we never lost power. That's a bar, man. It's talking about being resilient, man. Like, it's just so frustrating. Via Complex, back in July, Zohran linked with Wu-Tang, Run the Jewels, and Lox for the final Wu-Tang New York City show at MSG. A month prior, 50 Cent was 50 Centing, offering Zohran about $259,000 to leave the city. He would say, where did he come from? Whose friend is this? I'm not filling this plan, no. I will give him $258,750 and a first-class one-way ticket away from New York. I'm telling Trump what he said too. Well, you're showing yourself there, aren't you? I mean, if anybody has aged so poorly in hip-hop, it's probably 50 Cent. But again, the notion that because you listen to Dipset, that makes you a T-word, I mean, like, it's an insane reach. Kobe Bryant would call that a Bikram yoga stretch. And also, I suppose if you're a supporter of Kid Rock, then you're a supporter of pedophilia. Same with Ted Nugent, by the way. 2 guys who are staunch MAGA loyalists, and you will see on Fox News giving interviews on quite literally anything. Look up their lyrics and then get back to me.